All right. What's up, everyone? My name's Tim Williams. We're here to break down tonight's six-game MLB Monday slate over on DraftKings. Before I jump right in here, if you're new to the channel, what's up? We're going to go through each and every one of these games here. We're going to talk hitting, pitching, weather concerns, favorites, all that good stuff. So yeah, before I get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. These slides are packed full of information and hopefully it will help you kind of take your DFS game to the next level. So first things first, we have the Astros taking on the Orioles. 10 over under here. There are some rain concerns here. It's a little too early to know right now, but later on, something we're going to have to keep an eye out. It is a juicy matchup, I think, for both teams here. You have Odorizzi taking on Aiken. Odorizzi 5.9 K. The price is kind of intriguing. Strikeout rate's been great, 25.3%. 40% fly ball rate. He is pitching in a park where a lot of home runs do get hit, so that is a little concerning. He has just been hittable in general, and he's much worse against left-handed batters. And then Aiken on the other side, tough matchup. The Astros are just on fire right now. I really wouldn't want to put any pitcher up against them in general. They just don't strike out a ton. They really give pitchers a hard time. He gives up a lot of fly balls, 42% of the time. So really tough matchup for Aiken and that Orioles bullpen. On the Astros side, I think it starts with Altuve, always 5.5K. It's just been on fire. Alvarez 5K, his price has come up a little bit. I don't mind Brantley. Yeah, I think you're getting him consistently at a discount rate at 3.9K. He's batting right in that 2-hole. Correa, McCormick for some value, 3.1K. He's generally been hitting, in the top of that order at times. He's looked pretty good filling in. Yuli in play as well. So really like the Astros. I think the majority of the field will as well. I think there are some other spots on this slate where we can kind of look at and, in those massive GPP contests, kind of mix in some other guys or just even potentially fade. And then on the Orioles side, Mancini 5.2. I don't love the price, but he's definitely in play here. Mountcastle, Mullins, Galvis. I think Mullins probably my favorite bat here, 4.6K. He can just explode at any time. So that's the first game here. Next, we have the Indians Cubs, 10.5 over under. The wind blowing in about 10 miles an hour. Savale taking on Alzolay. Savale 8.5K. 20.1% strikeout rate. That's not that great as far as like DFS purposes go, but he's a ground ball pitcher, near 48% ground balls. Does an okay job at limiting those fly balls 33% of the time. He does give up a lot of hard contact 44.4% of the time. The Cubs have a lot of power on that side. Savale isn't really somebody I'm, always looking to roster in DFS. It is a 6-game slate though, however, so he's somewhat in play. But keep in mind that he has the ability to just blow up. And then on the other side, Alzolay, 8.9K. I really like the pitcher, 26.7% strikeout rate here, gets a ton of ground balls. These guys are actually very similar. Alzolay just has better strikeout upside. He's very hittable versus left-handed batters. The question is, he's coming off the IR. How long will he actually go today? On the Indian side, as far as bats, Ramirez has been kind of shaken up a little bit. If he is batting today, I think he would be the one guy I would look at 5.8K, but I think I'm just going to fade the Indians here. And then on the other side with the Cubs, Bryant, 5.3K. The price is, kind of right. It's right up there. You're not really getting any value from him, but I think, Cubs bats are in play here. If Savale doesn't have his ground ball stuff, he's going to get hit around a lot. Baez at 4.4 is a nice discount. Rizzo 5K. And then Peterson 4.8K. I think he might go the lowest owned out of these Cubs big bats here. He has a 29% ground ball rate in general against right-handed pitching, and then 51.5% fly ball rate. So kind of an interesting catalyst here at the top of the order. So don't mind getting to him. Next, we have the A's Rangers, 8.5 over under. A's favorited here on the road. Montas taking on Gibson. Montas 9.4K. Originally, when I first looked at it, I'm like, damn, that's kind of a lot of money for Montas, right? But he has been consistently like average or above average. 23.6% strikeout rate, which isn't that high when you're paying for that salary, but 6-game slate, we might just have to overpay for some pitching here. You know, he has a 343 WOBA and 17% strikeout rate versus righties. So that means he just struggles a little bit more against right-handed batters. Thankfully, you know, the Rangers don't have a ton of right-handed bats that scare me a lot besides Garcia. And then on the other side, Gibson, 6.3K, 20.5% strikeout rate, not too great. You know, he gets a lot of ground balls 51% of the time, 40% hard contact. So he does get hit around a little bit. He has been pitching very well. It's just a really tough matchup. And I know the price is decent for Gibson, but I don't know if I'm going to get there really. And then on the A side, you know, we look at and it always starts with Matt Olson, 5.7K. He has double-digit DraftKings fantasy points in 6 of his last 8 games. And then in general, you know, some people don't like to look at, you know, BVP statistics, batter versus pitcher, but he is 7 for 14 with 3 home runs against Gibson. So that's something to kind of keep in mind there. Chapman, Canha, I like both of those guys. They have a lot of potential. Chapman has the power upside. And then Laureano, 4.4K, has some good splits against Gibson as well. And then on the other side, you know, Gallo low for the upside power, and then Garcia at 4.7 as well. He's having a hell of a year, and he does kind of profile well against Montas. If I'm taking 2 out of the 3, it's going to be Garcia and Gallo. Low struggling a little bit. Next, we have the Reds Twins, 9.5 over under here. Molly taking on Hap. Molly, 9.8K. I think price just kind of right here, 28% strikeout rate. He does have the upside here. And then take a look at his last 3 of 4 matchups here, 35, 28, and then 30 DraftKings points. In general, the Twins present a tough matchup here, but these guys are kind of banged up. There's definitely some strikeouts to be had here, so I don't mind looking at Molly here. And then on the other side, Hap, 5.3K. He's a low strikeout guy. You know, he's getting up there in age. He has been pitching well against left-handed bats, but he is struggling pretty bad against righties. In general, has a 47% fly ball rate. So looking at the Reds bats here, Castellanos, I know he's been struggling here, but 4.5K, really not too bad. In general with BVP, right? 12 for 22 with a home run against Hap. Hap's not going to blow the ball right by. He's not striking guys out. Stevenson's been hitting lefties pretty well, 3.7K. Votto, I don't mind the lefty-lefty matchup. Also has good stats against Hap, 9 for 23 with a home run if you're interested in that. Suarez, Winker, I don't even mind getting to Farmer here at 2.9K. I think the Reds are going to be somewhat popular, and Kyle Farmer won't. So that would be one way to get a little bit different. And then on the other side, you know, the Twins, Buxton, Kepler, Larnach, probably the only 3 I'm going to really get to. I think Cruz was pulled yesterday out of the game. They're just a little bit banged up. Donaldson hasn't been playing. So there's going to be a lot of young, inexperienced guys. So I kind of favor Molly here, but Twins, those are the 3 that I'd be interested in, mainly because you're saving a ton of salary, and Buxton has just kind of picked up where he's left off. And then don't forget, you know, this is a interleague game, so Reds are going to have that DH. They don't have the pitcher batting. Next, we have the Brewers Diamondbacks 7.5 over under. Really like this game as a whole, right? The over under isn't that great. This is early looking, so it's probably going up at this point. But Anderson taking on Kelly. Anderson 6.5K has been pretty terrible this year. 11% strikeout rate. He's not going to strike you out. He really relies on getting those ground balls. He's been extremely hittable, and he's giving up 49% hard contact. That is pretty terrible for a starting pitcher. And then Kelly on the other side, 7.4K. At times has looked okay, but kind of been struggling as of late. 21.2% strikeout rate, which isn't that great. 45% ground ball, 47% hard hit. These guys are somewhat similar. Kelly has, you know, much more upside. Brewers bats, they're kind of picking things up. If you haven't look at the standings. They're in second place. Yelich 5.5K, Wong, Garcia, Vogelbach. You know, they're kind of priced. It seems like it's priced up too much, right? Yelich 5.5 hasn't really been producing a ton, but he really profiles well here. I think he's going to come in at somewhat low ownership, but we'll see. It's only 6 games. And then Adames too. Like, I don't mind him. He's been showing a lot of power upside there for the Brewers. And then on the other side, you know, I like a lot of these Diamondbacks as well. Marte 4.9K. I think you're getting good value there. Escobar, he might be a little bit banged up, so I don't know if he'll be in the lineup. He does have some pretty good bat versus pitcher stats against Anderson. Walker, 3.6 is cheap. Rojas probably leading off. I like it. And then Ahmed here, 3.3K. It's not going to be a popular play, but he is 6 for 14 against Anderson. Hits lefties very well. Does have some power upside there. Although it might be minimal, it's there. And then last but not least, 6 and final game here, 7 over under. We got the Dodgers taking on the Padres. Padres favored it here at home. Urias taking on Darvish. Urias 9.1K, 27.6% strikeout rate. He has shown a really, really good control. Overall, he's just a good pitcher, right? Doesn't seem to go more than 80 to 90 pitches, which really does concern me when you're paying 9.1K for a pitcher, and it's not really the easiest matchup. It looks like Tatis is going to be back in tonight's game. And then on the other side, Darvish 10.2K, that's kind of just where his price sits, right? 29.8% strikeout rate. That's what you're kind of paying for here. It's not, elite A stuff, but, one thing that concerns me this year is his fly ball rate, 46.6%. The hard contact rate isn't too bad, 36%. Dodgers hit right-handed pitching fairly well, but the overall air distance is about under 300 feet average as a whole, as a lineup, as a projected lineup for tonight. That's kind of concerning, right? It seems like they can hit their way on, but they're not really hitting the ball very far collectively. I kind of lean Darvish's way. Maybe he goes a little bit under owned. We'll see. It's 6 games, so I'm sure the ownership will be there. But Dodgers, I think you can go there, right? I think for me, I'm just going to fade, maybe just take bets here as a one-off at 5-4. And then I kind of really am interested in the Padres side here. Especially if they can work the count a little bit against Urias. Maybe he only goes 4 or 5 innings. There's times where he just kind of struggles, right? The overall numbers look really good for him, but I really like this Padres, bats, especially the front half of that lineup. Tatis, Myers, Machado, Pham, all look really, really good at fairly good value here. So that'll do it. Hope this video helps you. Please don't forget to like this video. It really helps me out a ton. I love doing these videos. And then also make sure you subscribe. I'll have a link right in the description below. Comment below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. It's going to be a 6-game slate, so we have to be a little bit creative. I kind of have to get that game theory going, but that'll do it. Appreciate all your time. Thank you for watching, and take it easy. Good luck tonight.